Hello there once again YouTube, this is Yellow Drawings back again with my first tutorial after my intro video yesterday for the first one on my channel. I have only received one comment, and it was from a Bob Bobson asking if I could do this picture, which was of Matilda at 2:15 yesterday in my video. Shout out Bob. And so that is going to be the first tutorial that I do on my channel, so yay! Something important. Now, for one problem, I can never get my two drawings exactly the same. I have practiced, honest, but it hasn't worked, so I am actually going to have to trace my original drawing to try and make sure it is proper. Another thing that might be an issue is the camera might go a bit, rubbish, because I'm going to have to hold it with one hand while drawing with the other. Lastly, I'm afraid I'm about to get into some sort of cold thing. So it may be that you barely hear my voice at all, and I did notice yesterday that my audio on the video was a bit messed up, so for all of you out there that couldn't properly hear it, I'm really sorry, and I'm pretty sure there'll be quite a few. Now let's start with her face. The idea is obviously it's anime, so you've got to try and get the lines proper. Getting the shape right. It's all about triangles, crescents and circles when it comes to anime. You'll also notice that her face is actually quite small by comparison to the head itself, so that is one thing you want to take into consideration while drawing this. I'm just trying to do it myself. Obviously, as you can imagine, I'm at quite an awkward angle, and it's also been a while since I've drawn this one. As I said to you yesterday, I've been doing this for about 6 months now, so the actual drawing aspects is one of my much older artworks, which makes it kind of difficult to redo again. I just hope you can still see this, and it's coming out clearly on here. So that's the top of Matilda's head. That's basically her shape of the entire head. And then, I don't actually know why, but she's got these two freaky little, that there is a mistake. There should only be one line on each. Don't go making a mistake thinking there's loads of lines there. And now for the eyes. On any anime, the eyes are always a very similar shape. Pardon me, which is a problem if you can't get the shape correct. I'm sorry there isn't much to say about this picture. As I said earlier, it was quite a long time since I did it, so there isn't actually a lot of commentary for this picture. One thing you will notice is I'm half shading it now. Even though I will show you how to shade using a pen, because this is actually a perfect example of it, even though I will be showing that off, it's not, you know what I'm getting at. It's not very good to do shading with a pencil. I'm just doing some light shading now because it needs to be done, essentially. That shape, she's got some sort of collar thing on there. I don't know. Like I said to you yesterday, I got all my images from the internet, so that's how that is, and that's pretty much the entirety of her face completed. There might be the occasional detail which I've missed out on due to the holding of the camera. I will pick up on that in a mo. As you can see, I've just tidied up her head a bit. I did that off camera because it wasn't very interesting to watch. All it was doing was shading a few extra bits, as well as making sure that I'd got all the details put in there as opposed to being missed off. Which has happened in the past. Now to start work on her body. The body itself on Matilda is actually really easy to do, because her jacket is not a difficult one to be drawing. In fact, as far as anime jackets go, she's actually got one of the all-time easiest, in my opinion. It actually just comes down plain and simple, and that's it. It's just a few lines, as opposed to most jackets where you'll need to put, extra stuff on it to make it look like the actual character. This one you can just pretty much settle for these few lines and it works. I mean, Mr. Bob Bobson, brilliant name by the way, didn't seem to mind that this wasn't quite perfect. And that's actually the shape of her jacket. The arms are a slightly different story in terms of how difficult they are, because unfortunately, like most bloomin' Beybladers, she decides to wear the most impractical gloves ever. Proper like prom gloves that come right down her armpit. Right down her arm even. Shape of her arm is not a hard one to get. Sorry, I had to cut there. I had to speak to my father. The shape of her arm is not a hard one to get, and her hand is actually quite an easy one as well. It might feel pointy at the moment, but that sort of thing can always be tidied up, and it will be, in fact. This is what I mean when I say it's gloves, because the glove actually ends right there. Now, it is actually a similar story on her other hand here. It's pretty much exactly the same, only the hand is backwards. I think I'll probably do this off screen, cinema. So that's her other arm sorted, and you can see this is really coming into place now. Again, her hands will look a little bit messed up in the sense that it's all going to be fixed later. It'll all make sense soon enough is the point. Now to finish this off, like I say, we've already got her jacket itself. To finish this off, you simply need to round off the bottom like that. And then obviously add the lines in for the creases in her shirt and so forth. The pretty much trademark creases that are always there in every episode. And that's the actual shirt herself. Although something you may want to do, which is something I do for all my anime drawings, is always give another little lip to the shirt, just giving it that extra, feel that it needs. Crikey, we're already at 7:20. Right, those shorts, on the other hand, are quite difficult to get the shape right because you don't want to go outwards too much, or else her hips look really messed up. But you don't want to refrain from going outwards, or else it just doesn't look right. She's essentially stepping in this picture while she's modelling. I don't actually know what my original thoughts were. So there is a little crease around that area. Then just a few extras on the shorts itself. Her legs are incredibly slender, as you can pretty much see from beyond the camera. She has really easy legs to draw in that sense. Those are the socks type thing. If you bring that down and across like that, her socks should pretty much line up actually. And then obviously just run her legs all the way down to pretty much as far as you want them. At the end of the day, she has got quite long legs when it comes to the picture itself. But it really doesn't matter. Then obviously you round it off. She's actually got leg warmers over the top of her shoes. This was pretty much artistic design because in almost every one of her shows she doesn't actually wear leg warmers over her shoes. Is it leg warmers? I've no idea because unfortunately I'm not a woman. I wouldn't know what a leg warmer is. If I'm honest, I'm pretty sure I got it right. And then her shoes, on the other hand. Oh, I've messed up a bit there. Her shoes are really easy. You just make the shoe shape, the foot shape, and round it off. Very simple. And that is our finished picture of Matilda. Now, I will be showing you certain parts which are required for pens and so forth. You basically use a fine liner to go over all the lines. I basically use this sort of pen. take the nib off that sort of nib, and you basically just go over all the major areas and then shade in parts that you'd like to for effect. I'm just going to be working on her head when it comes to showing you how to use a pen. Of course, as I said, you basically just go over all the individual lines to give it a little bit of definition, a bit of effect. It just makes it feel a little bit better, essentially. A little bit closer to anime as opposed to a drawing. Sketch. Just follow all your lines around as you do, like so. Now, this is something many, new artists struggle with: shading. You don't actually shade like so. You don't actually shade like that, the way you would with a pen, because it looks messy and it's really hard to get it consistent. Instead, you just draw little lines, depending on how dark you want something to be. You can see the difference there. In fact, if you look at the original picture, none of this shading is actually pitch black. That's all just, apart from the eyes of course, that's just using lines, horizontal lines going straight down. In terms of obviously doing the eyes, the idea is you do shade them pitch black, but leave the glint in the eyes, like so. You'll notice the power now on that eye as opposed to the other eye. Now you just essentially go over your entire picture, and it will look, at the end, something like that. And there you have it. You have your very first tutorial from my channel. You have your very own Matilda. Please remember to subscribe for more of my tutorials. Any comments and criticisms would be very helpful. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.